The Seattle Seahawks travel across the country to face the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. Seattle is currently installed as a 3-point and 2.5-point favorite on BETDAQ, both markets being offered 37.5 the total. That's a low total. That's because we do not expect a whole lot of scoring in this game. These two teams very similar stylistically. They both rely on their defense. They're both conservative on offense. Two rookie quarterbacks in this game, Ryan Tannehill for the Dolphins, Russell Wilson for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seattle has done a little bit better job of playing that style than the Dolphins. They are 6-4. Miami is now 4-6. The Dolphins have lost their last 3 games. They're a tough team to figure. Coming into the season, not a whole lot of people thought they were going to be very good, myself included. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the entire league, and they looked that way in a Week 1 blowout loss to the Houston Texans. But then over the next 6 games, they went 4-2. They were 4-3 through 7 games. People were saying that maybe they were positioned for a playoff run. I bought in on the Dolphins, bet on them in their next game against the Indianapolis Colts. They lost that game, then were blown out 37-3 at home in their last home game by the Tennessee Titans, who are not a good football team. And then last week they lost on the road to the Buffalo Bills. So again, the Dolphins now sit at 4-6, and they look closer to a bad team than a playoff team. You look at this team, their best win of the year is over the Cincinnati Bengals. And Cincinnati, I know they've won a couple of games in a row now, but they're certainly not a great team. But Seattle's really struggled on the road this season. Seahawks were only 1-4 on the road. They're one of the best home teams in the NFL, 5-0 at home, but only 1-4 on the road. A lot of things seem to set up for a Dolphins win here to me. You know, Seattle traveling across the country. Again, they're not very good on the road. Miami's lost 3 games in a row. They were blown out in their last home game. They'll be plenty motivated. And Seattle might not be well equipped to attack Miami where they're weakest. The Achilles heel of this Miami team, or their defense anyway, is their secondary, 27th in the NFL in pass yards allowed. But Seattle last in the NFL in pass yards per game. The Seahawks only pass for 174 yards per game. Their rookie quarterback, Russell Wilson, has played well this season, but they don't ask him to do a whole lot. They're sort of conservative, pedestrian, whatever word you want to use. Seattle likes to run the football. They don't pass for a whole lot of yards, so you don't expect that to change. Even though the Dolphins are bad in the secondary, I don't expect Seattle to be throwing the ball 40, 45 times in this game. You don't expect to see Russell Wilson pass for 300, 330 yards, anything like that. So I understand a Dolphins argument, and there's been some line movement in the Dolphins' direction this week, both in Vegas and on BETDAQ. This line is now 2 most places in Vegas. On BETDAQ, the Seattle -3 market was posted before the Seattle -2.5 market. So there's some Miami feeling here this week, but you know what? In looking at it more, I think I like Seattle here. I lean towards the Seahawks. I understand, just laid out all those reasons why I understand a Miami bet here. I certainly understand a Miami angle. But, I think the Seattle defense is really going to be able to shut down this Miami offense. We mentioned that these teams are similar stylistically, but Seattle just does a little bit better job of playing that style. Well, specifically on defense, they do a much better job. This Seattle defense, absolutely dominant. 3rd in the NFL in yards per game allowed, 2nd in the NFL in points allowed. They have one of the best secondaries in the NFL, and Miami's rookie quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, he seems to have hit that rookie wall over the last couple of games, has not been looking very good, and Seattle is a tough defense to rebound against. And even though the Seahawks have struggled on the road, we know defense travels. It's not like in Seattle's road games, they've gone and their defense has fallen apart and opposing offenses have been putting up 30, 35 points on them. That's not been the case at all. Seattle, they do struggle to put up points from time to time, and I don't expect this game to be high scoring at all. I would have a lean towards the under here. Again, the total is 37.5. That's a low total, but don't expect a whole lot of scoring. And, hey, I know there's a lot of people liking Miami here as a short home dog, thinking they're going to win the game outright, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to have much success at all against the Seattle defense, and I like the Seahawks' chances of improving to 7-4. I do lean towards the Seahawks on the road in Miami on Sunday.